What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Hope all is well with you. First and foremost, we must first before we start going on with my camera, why it's doing all of that, but not sure. But to all the veterans, salute to all the military branches. I would like to first say thank you for all of your services. My name is Corey Sanders. They call me Tall Boy, the tallest man on your webcam, TV screen, Facebook, YouTube, whatever social media site that you're watching from. I thank you for joining me. Unfortunately, we had James Hicks. He had to take care of some business down in sunny Southern California, but I think it's raining down there because he told me he was going to drive. So I don't know. But anyway, this is where we talk about all things tech, and we're going to talk tech. How about that? So first, have you heard about this news about Chipotle is to open its first digital-only restaurant as online orders soar? So let's talk a little bit about that. Online orders. Everybody's been doing a lot of going out to eat, shall we say? Not going out to eat, but they've been ordering in line like Grubhub and those and their competitors, shall we say? And basically Chipotle saying, hey, they're going to open their first digital-only restaurant, which opens this Saturday in New York. And oh my God, look at God. Oh my God, look at this guy right here. He just pops in right on time. His name
Hold up, wait a minute. Let me make sure you can hear me, brother guy dog.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, can you hear me? We talking tech over here, so I can hear you. Can you hear? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me.
I can't hear you, but you see, shouts out Hickster Media, James Hicks coming to you live from Irvine, California. Got my mask on, doing what we do. You know, God dog. The show will go on. The lab coming through. We got Tall Boy here doing his thing, holding it down. God dog it. If this ain't the most ghettoest show I'd have never seen. But either way, we're going to get it in. All right. Hold on. You know what? Yeah, I took the mask off. God dog it. You about to lose your job.
Yeah. When we're going to talk when you get back. So
I don't know what's going on. But hopefully Mr. Burks will come in so you can have a proper show. I just, I'm on the road. I wanted just to make sure that you had some support, brother. Talk about the things you're going to talk about. I got to throw my Apple stuff in there. We had some things going on there. There's a lot going on with digital rights management. I know you're probably going to talk about that. A lot of folks getting copyright restrictions. So, tell the people about that. God dog it. What else we got? Big View. You got Big View coming on. Shouts out to Big View. I mean, they got a great platform and a great product. We try to get some sponsorship. We try to get some hookup and some love from them. Hold on. What else we got? Bought me some new headphones. I got the JBL. I'm not drunk yet, brother, so don't trip. I'm on vacation, but the show has gone completely off the rails. I don't know how many folks we've got watching, but on the multiple streams. But I got some new JBLs at the crib, which I'm gonna talk about that next time we go live. But ending season 2, right? Today we ending season 2, and it's all you, brother. You got a guest in there. Who is that? Oh, that's me.
Okay. I don't know if.
Oh, hold on. There you go. I can't hear. Dang.
All right. I'm sorry, guys. He's out in California.
I'm just causing confusion. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna come back. What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna leave and come back. I'm gonna get a little bit better lighting because Chocolate Brothers. When we out here in the nighttime, it's hard to see. So I'm gonna get a little better light, and then I'll get back at you.
He just came in the room, y'all. That's James. That's my host. the co-host, shall I say. But back to what I was saying, some of the things he was saying was right. We will talk a little bit about have you been getting your streams taken down? We'll talk about it. All right, but back to what I was saying before. Chipotle is open its first digital only restaurant as online order store, and as you guys know, Grubhub, Uber Eats, stuff like that. Well, check this out. Let me see if I can share this real quick. Let's see what we got here. We got unlike a traditional Chipotle location, it will not include a dining room or a line for ordering. Customers have to order in advance on Chipotle's app, their website, or third-party delivery platforms. The new restaurant design is meant. The new design is meant for urban areas where real estate is more expensive and a full-size restaurant isn't possible. So if you live like in the downtown heart of, let's just say Los Angeles, let's say New York, downtown Atlanta. Here in Atlanta, believe it or not, James, can you hear me now?
Oh, I got you, brother. We straight.
Okay, cool. All right. So we won't be talking Apple today unless you throw it in at the last minute.
There you go.
We're not talking Apple, but right. But did you hear about this? I want to bring this in real briefly. I'm gonna recap you. Chipotle is to open its first digital only restaurant as online order store. Did you hear about that?
No, and that's crazy because my daughter works at Chipotle, and I will actually ask her about that. That's pretty interesting. Chipotle's doing it the right way, right? Everyone else, there's a lot of other restaurants that are folding under COVID, but Chipotle, yeah, they had their issues a few years ago with some food tainting issues, but they had some lettuce issues and things like that. But ever since they've rebounded from that, and they've got a great menu, they got a great selection. You go in, it's always a packed line, and they're pretty efficient on their app. This just makes sense, right? I really like the fact that Chipotle is getting into this.
Well, they basically said the coronavirus pandemic has accelerated customers' shift to ordering online, pushing Chipotle to try to optimize the experience as much as possible. Third quarter, their digital sales more than tripled. So they said it could exceed past 2.5 billion this year. Believe that or not. That's double that last year's total. The crisis and its shock to the restaurant industry has also pushed other companies to rethink their design. So Burger King and Shake Shack are among the restaurants that plan to add drive-through lanes reserved for delivery drivers or online orders. And Starbucks is now planning to build more mobile pickup cafes this year and in 2021 as they previously thought. So what are your thoughts of, I think it said the design is designed for more urban areas. So like there's a store here in Atlanta where when I came in, they said that they're not taking orders online. I mean, in the store, you have to literally download their app. And it's the only one that I know of, but it's not that far. It's right on the cusp of downtown. It's in a high end area, but I went in there and they said if you didn't order online, we can't give you your food.
Look, I've seen a lot of restaurants that even you can go order, but you got to utilize their menu from a QR code, right? So they don't even have the menus out. So like right now, I'm traveling. I'm down in Southern California right now. I'm down in Irvine, and we walked into this restaurant. We had to scan the restaurant menu with our phone, their QR code. They're not letting folks sit inside to eat. It's a different thing, but the Chipotle app is off the hook, man. The Chipotle app allows you to order, customize, use your rewards, schedule a time for pickup. It's dope. Look, they got it going.
So you can do a schedule a time for pickup?
Yeah, you put in your little thing. So my thing is this Sofritas bowl. Shouts out to this Sofritas bowl. Rather trying to eat clean, right? So I put that together and I say I can come pick it up in 10 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever the case may be. Or they've partnered with Grubhub, and Grubhub will deliver for free. God, well, they'll deliver. I won't say for free. You gotta have some promo codes, but this is how businesses are going to succeed and survive in this coronavirus world. It's not going away, so they got to be creative, and you got to meet the customers halfway. And Chipotle is one of them that's doing it right. I think some of them that are trying to get into it now, it might be too late, to be honest with you. It would be nice if someone like an In-N-Out. I don't know if you have In-N-Out in Atlanta, but they're big over here. It'd be nice if they would do something. So.
Okay. All right. Well,
I'm just here to provide value, brother. I'm here to provide value.
Okay. Well, I just asked you your opinion. I mean, and Chipotle is one of my favorite restaurants, believe it or not. And I love the carnitas bowl with extra sour cream, believe it or not. So white rice, no beans. So I love it. So, but I think that everything. We were talking the other day. We were at a store the other day, and at a restaurant, a fast food restaurant. We went in. Well, we were in the drive-thru, ordered the food, and I guess the meal came out to, let's just say, $12.48. I gave them, $20, and they gave me $7 back, and they didn't give me my 52 cents. And I'm like, hey, where's my change? And they're like, well, due to the change shortage, there's nothing that we can do. So, yeah, man, it's one of those things where there's a change shortage. I think people are, like you said, they're trying their best, shall we say, to say, hey, let's push. The companies are trying their best to push digital. T-Mobile Tuesdays is saying, hey, if you want a free sandwich, you have to download the app of the respected restaurant. And so basically by 2022, everyone should be, on a digital platform with their stuff.
Yeah. So that's an interesting point. Let me ask you about that. All right. And from a technology perspective, right? Do you carry cash in your pocket, or do you primarily use
everything's debit? I very rarely have cash on me, like very rarely, and that's sad because there's days that you're like, man, I got to run to the bank. Now if you go to the urban side of town, you got to have cash, but some of the other areas that you go to, it's like, man, I just use my debit card. I tap the card, tap my phone with Google Pay. But I mean, well, what if you want some barbecue and you see somebody on the side of the road? You got to have cash. They don't have. They're not with. They're not ready. They're not that ready. So, but
and that's interesting because I don't carry cash at all, and I just use either my phone, Apple Pay, Venmo, PayPal, whatever the case would be. I'm not a physical paper kind of guy. So I mean, again, just from the convenience side, right? From technology and a convenience perspective, I like to I've got everything encrypted on my phone, so why not just use Apple Pay, or why not just use Amazon Pay or whatever on my digital device, as opposed to, I don't know. I mean, that's an interesting conversation to have as well, especially in times like these. Folks don't like to touch anybody right now, right? So, what's the easiest way to transact business?
Look, the funny thing about that, and this is not to shift a little bit from the restaurants. I went to Best Buy to go buy a video game a couple of weeks ago, and I walked in, did not see the game in the video game section. They told me to go to the front. It was already there behind the counter. I pulled out my credit card and I tapped the card on the kiosk machine. I mean, on it. And then when I tapped it, the receipt. I didn't even put the chip in. I just literally tapped it, and then and I had a receipt and the game in my hand. We did not touch anything. All she did was move the game from the back to the counter. I tapped the screen. The receipt came up. She put the receipt on top of the game, slid it across the table or across the desk, and I walked right on it. Hands free.
Crazy.
All right.
Best Buy. So Best Buy. I'm going to Micro Center tomorrow, brother. For the first time. I know I'm just throwing you for all kind of loops, but you told me about Micro Center, and I'm going tomorrow.
It's about to be your new best friend.
We find out. Look, I'm going with credit cards in hand, and if I walk out of there, what's that thing you looking for Christmas? I know Tammy watching and listening. What? Go ahead and repeat what you want for Christmas. You better say it while we record.
It's not there. I can tell you that it's not there. It's an audio. You'll find it more at Guitar Center.
Okay. I looked at it and I said that's nice. That's really nice.
You're not gonna find it there. All right, so let me ask you, how many spam calls do you get a day or in a week?
I get too many, right? Because we've switched completely from landline and we're all on our mobile phones, and I still get tons of sales calls every day. It's nerve-wracking, man. But I'd say at least 5 calls a day, every single day, are someone trying to sell me something or someone telling me I've won the lotto.
Well, guess what? There's a way that you can block spam calls on your iPhone and on your Android. So, they say robocalls are hard to block because they are always coming from a different number, and they often come from your own area code to make you think it's someone you know. While you can't block all the spam numbers, and scammers are always figuring out new ways to get through the phone lines, there's still some things you can do to limit the number of robocalls you receive. So if you have iOS 13 or later, you can stop unknown numbers from ringing at all by selecting silence unknown callers, and they'll go straight to your missed calls, but will at least buy you some peace of mind for a moment. But if you don't know the number, then, they have to leave a voicemail or a text. And then on many Android phones, you can pull up your default caller ID and spam options and enable filtered spam calls and see caller and spam ID and verified numbers. So, and then they also have a couple third-party apps called Y-Protect and Haya that has advanced spam blocking features, but you'll have to pay for that. What do you think of that?
So as long as I don't have to pay for it, then I'm good. I'm already paying mobile access fees. I'm already paying for unlimited data. Verizon just needs to kick in and figure out a way to stop these robocalls without me having to kick in more, because I'm not into a whole bunch of extra subscriptions.
Well, I mean, like I said, your best bet for iPhone is just to go ahead and silence unknown callers. So if they're not in your phone, then that way at least help eliminate some of that problem.
I'll do that. I mean, that's a good tip there. That's the tip of the day right there, brother. I didn't know about that.
You didn't know about that? Hold up. You didn't know about that?
See, there you go.
I mean, I thought you would know. I mean, but see, like for me, I filter my spam calls, so I don't get a lot of my spam calls because I have like a spam blocker on my phone. So I still get some, but it's not as many as when I check my text messages. It says potential spam. And so now they're texting me instead of calling me. And then I can see it and I can report it and block it. And like they said, it's coming from my area code. So I'm thinking it's somebody that I know, and it's like this is a text and it says, "Hey, you won, you just qualified, or you can get up to whatever it may be that they send in a text message." And I just check the box, report spam, and it blocks it, and then I don't see the number anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely need to start implementing some of that, because it's a pain when you get all these calls. You think, and they're 916 numbers, so it's from my area, but from a legislation perspective, something needs to happen to correct that. And I think what you're reporting here is nice, that the carriers, right, the T-Mobiles, the Verizon, things like that, are providing that type of a service. So, because I see my dad commented, right? He doesn't even pick up the phone half the time. If he doesn't directly recognize the number, he won't even pick up the phone. And I get calls all the time from work related, partnership related, whatever the case may be. So I think it's something legit and valid. But then next thing you know, you've been selected for a free cruise. Oh man, come on now, come on.
But to Tammy's point, when you have a business, you have to take the call. And I try to tell her all the time, if you have a small business, you're an entrepreneur, you have to take those calls. And there's nothing that you can really do when it comes to that, if that makes sense.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
you have to, because that could be a potential sale, that could be a new client, something along those lines.
Yep. Love it.
Yeah. Let me see what else we got. Your old. Let me see. No. I'm not going to take you there yet.
See, I'm just here to ad lib today, right?
No. I got you. I'm just asking. No, I'm just asking you. I'm just asking you your opinion on things, and that's perfectly fine. Today, you received an email from Twitch, and for the ones who are streaming and that love streaming, and that's actually being the content creators, can you kind of briefly summarize the email that they're seeing right now on this screen right now?
So I will be honest. I didn't read it all. I just read the highlights. So TLDR, right? Too long, didn't read.
It is long.
the challenge with the premise is, and this relates back to the show you just produced, I think 24 hours ago.
Right.
There are a lot of copyright claims that are happening now online. Shouts out to Minute Maid right there. Hold on, let's do the show pause. Shouts out to Minute Maid and they fresh squeezed juice. Yeah, so Twitch, you not necessarily, well, YouTube a little bit. I'm getting some YouTube ones every now. I still got an outstanding one actually for our intro for the lab with YouTube that still hasn't been fully cleared. But mainly Facebook, right? You've got copyrighted content that their algorithms are seeing, and they're saying, you know what? Do you have the legal right to play this music, irregardless of if it's 10 seconds, 20 seconds, a minute, or whatever the case may be? If they don't think that you actually own that content, they'll actually pull that content off of the internet. That's a problem, especially when you have the permission of the copyright holder. So in Tallboy's instance, again, 24 hours ago, he literally had the owner of the piece of content online on screen with him, and all she did literally was sing it a cappella. There are algorithms that are built into Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and some of these other online streaming platforms haven't become sophisticated enough to know when it's either not the actual copyrighted song that's playing or the actual method of filing a copyright claim where you can say, I do have permission from the owner to play this material within my stream. Because what's happening now is all of those pieces of content, all of that collateral, all of that material is literally being pulled off of the internet. You put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into producing, creating, publishing that content, and 10 minutes after you put it online, it's pulled off by the social network. So that's a bad thing. And Twitch acknowledged that. That was what the email was today, stating that they're trying to work more diligently with copyright holders, copyright owners, and content creators to make sure that these inadvertent pools of particular content online doesn't happen anymore. It's an imperfect science though, right? But at least they're putting out saying, you know what, we're going to try to work with you, the content creators, to make sure that your content doesn't inadvertently get pulled off our platform.
All right, so right here, for the ones who are not familiar, DMCA actually is the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. And it is a set of U.S. laws that allows you to create and share content on digital service providers like Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. And basically what you're doing is those companies that you're streaming on, they receive a DMCA notification, and then they process the notification in accordance with their DMCA guidelines. And this includes removing the content, sharing the details with the channel owner, and tracking the allegation. And so the DMCA takedown notifications can affect your ability to stream, because as a part of their efforts to comply with DMCA, I know that's the technical term, and their global laws issue and track copyright strikes and ban the accounts of those who repeatedly infringe on the copyrights of others. So right now you've been having, I think I want to say in late September, early October, they said on Facebook that they're going to be saying that's it, no more on Facebook. After so many, they take your stream down. After so many, they put you in Facebook jail, and then after that, they just delete your account completely. And so
so hold on. So think about this, right? The show Try It with Tammy that you do, right? And you had a live DJ on there. You can't even do that anymore. You can't have someone just spinning records on that screen because Facebook is no longer even allowing that to happen. I think that's I don't know. I don't want to say too much negative because look, we're all kind of abode to these platforms from an entrepreneur perspective and content creators, trying to make sure that we keep our content online and try to monetize them and all. But there's got to be a better way, because that whole algorithm, again, it's automated. It's not a physical person there that's listening to every stream. And if they hear that digital content, they just arbitrarily, immediately, you're guilty before proven innocent.
Right.
On these aspects.
So basically, what Tammy was saying, talk to me like I'm two. So basically, I just gave you the legal mumbo jumbo of what the DMCA is. And basically, it's saying that if you play the music, they're going to take it down if it's not completely yours. So, no, even if you say a disclaimer will it be allowed? No, it does not matter. And so right now, James received an email from Twitch today. So not YouTube, not Facebook, not LinkedIn. He got something from Twitch, which is a gaming stream platform. But a lot of people have been running to Twitch to say, you know what, if I can't stream on Facebook and I can't stream on YouTube, I can't stream on LinkedIn, I'm going to run over here to Twitch. But now they're saying I can't do it as well. So here's the bad thing. So right now, Twitch is saying if you play your videos, and I'm trying to scroll down just a little bit, if you've already played older videos from, let's just say 5 years ago, 10 years ago, last year, if you have videos on there with Snoop, Ice Cube, Nipsey Hussle, Beyonce, or any, Van Halen, it doesn't matter. If it's older, they automatically telling you they're going to take it down. And you've already streamed this 6 months ago. You streamed this 2 years ago. So even if you say you don't own the rights, they're saying this is how you do it. I mean, they're going to take it down. They said, basically, how can you avoid the DMCA notification? And they're saying, most importantly, don't play recorded music in your stream. Just plain and simple. Just don't play the recorded music in your stream unless you own all the rights in the music or you have the permission of the necessary rights holders. And most of the time, that's going to be your record labels. That's not even necessarily the artist, because the artists don't necessarily own the music.
Good point, because there's the point right there. Yeah, you could. I'm gonna turn this back on you, right? You literally talk to those content creators, those principals, the folks that are actually. You talk to the Whispers. You talk to the Jones. The actual artists. They don't necessarily own the digital rights. It's the record label. It's those folks that actually own that content in terms of distribution. That's where you start getting into the business conversation. Yeah, you may have a friendly relationship with the actual artist and be talking to them online, have a microphone in front of their face and a camera on and the lights on. But it's the distribution piece, and that's where the companies are saying, you know what, take this down because I own that. I being Capitol Records or Arista or Bad Boy or whomever the case may be, right? And they will literally pull you down, but they'll pull the stream down. Then they'll turn your channel off, and there could be some legal ramifications as well, I think, moving forward with some of this. So it's a slippery slope, brother. It's a slippery slope.
So here's what they're saying. They're saying they haven't received more than a handful of DMC notifications, and this is Twitch that I'm talking about, targeting in-game music. But if you're playing games with recorded music in them, we recommend you review the end-user license agreement. So basically, if the game already has the music in it, you're okay. But if you play WAP, or you play whatever your favorite song is, and they play it on the radio, they're telling you now, stop. And
don't put it in the background.
so they're saying now, listen to this, for your stream archives, which are VODs and clips. Right now, your only option, if you think they contain unauthorized music, is to either go through them one by one, or for clips, use the delete all tool that they provided. And we understand both of these options have downsides, and we're working to provide you more and better options as soon as possible. These things will take time to get right, and new challenges may appear in the future, but regardless, we are committing here and now to investing in building better tools and keeping you posted on our products. So basically, they're going to try and find ways to educate you, and they're giving you transparency going forward, telling you, hey, we're going to take it down, whether you like it or not. So, I mean, it's here. There's nothing that you can do. And we live in a digital age now that COVID has hit. So now you got one side where COVID is great because you get the order digitally and you can have everything ready. But if you want to be a creator, you have to not only be able to be that cook or be like us right now. If we had music playing right now, then they would take our stream down if it was a pre-recorded song.
Yep. In a minute.
In a second. Yeah. So there's nothing that you can do other than basically prepare for it. All I can tell you is, even if you say, I do not own the rights to this music, okay, well, you may get away with it today, but what happens 6 months from now? What happens to a year from now? What happens to 5 years from now? You just can't do it. So it puts a lot of DJs out of business. It hurts a lot of people that are saying, hey, I want to bring some added value of music to my show. It is what it is. There's nothing that you can do. Unfortunately, the record labels are trying to make money because you don't make money off of streams. Let's just call it what it is. I mean, they're making pennies on the dollar. It's not like iTunes where you were getting 99 cents. It's not like, well, back in the day, the record labels were getting all of the money and they were buying you a Cadillac, hence Cadillac Records. So you in this day and age, in this climate, the artists are saying, I want to stay independent. They want to be able to own their stuff, and they want to get paid 100% of their royalties. Yeah. So if the record label is not signing the artist and they're staying independent, the artists want to get paid too.
Makes sense.
So, I mean, it's something to think about. Like I said, keep doing what you're doing. But if Twitch, which was your last resort, is saying, hey, we don't want to be sued, we're just trying to provide a streaming platform. Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitch, Vimeo. We're providing the platform for you to do your stream, but we cannot allow you to play the music. So us as content creators, we have to be creative.
The only place that I see that I can think off the top of my head that's still allowing content to be streamed right now is Mixcloud. Right, so that's where a lot of DJs have gone to now to do their sets.
But you can't stream.
But you can't stream. Yeah. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. We'll bring some more news to you on this, because this is ever evolving, and it's critical and it's real for a lot of webpreneurs, right? Folks that are making their life and their living online, creating content, especially when it comes to entertainment industry, music, creativity, things like that. So this is real.
Yeah. It's about to be a real war, and basically you're asking the record labels to bend, and the record label saying is not. I appreciate you playing our music, but we want to get paid. Just call it what it is. So let's switch gears a little bit and let's talk about video games.
Yes, sir.
What was your first video game that you had?
I'm old, man. I had a Commodore. No, I had not the Commodore 64, but I had the VIC-20. So this was back in the day, and then after that, I got the Atari. So I was doing Pong. I was doing old school Asteroids. Missile Command. What you know about Missile Command, brother? God, that was the game. Like Defender. What you know about Defender?
Okay.
Ooh-wee. Star Castle. I'm flashing back. You're not ready for this.
Gotcha. Well, I don't know the first one that you said, but I do remember Atari in the very.
Oh my God!
I'm the last of the '70s babies. I was born in '79, so I do remember Atari. How much did you pay for the game? Do you remember how much the games were?
No, I don't remember. It was probably ridiculously priced though, because look, flashing back to what VCRs and Betamaxes were back in the day, you were paying $800, $900 for those players. So the economies of scale were not in the consumer's favor back in the day. It was pretty pricey to have those consoles.
So you don't remember any of the games? How much you paid for those video games?
Nah, I'll guesstimate, say $40, $50. To be honest with you.
$40, $50. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you got Nintendo and Sega, and then do you remember how much you paid for those games?
See, that's when they were, I think, $50, right? When you start getting into the DVDs and the CDs with higher graphics, coming from 8-bit all the way up to 32, 64 with the Sega. And, this is back in the old days, 32-bit games, right? 40, 50, $60 for a game was special. No one, parents didn't really want to pay that much money, but to get one game of Mario or something when it first came out or Sonic the Hedgehog. Remember, also Sonic the Hedgehog on Sega Genesis was probably one of the more expensive. Zelda, right? Those games were pricey. I remember Zelda was that was actually a highly priced game. I think that was $50 or $60 for that.
Okay, so it looks like I don't see where it is, but I'm looking at eBay prices for Mike Tyson's Punch Out, and you can get it $49.99, maybe $33 or something like that. So that's today's current prices. I don't remember because I was a kid and I just wanted my parents to buy the game.
Yeah.
But they're saying that for the first time in 15 years. Video game prices are going up, and they're going up another $10. So right now, you're currently paying $59.99. Now they're saying that you're going to be paying $69.99 moving forward now that the PS5 and the Xbox has launched. And they said the $60 video game dates back to at least the 1990s. So games are about $40, $50 before then, and they went up to 60. And they're saying basically the video game publishers will press ahead with an industry-wide effort to raise the standard price to $70. The move coincides with the debut of two new game consoles, which is the Xbox and the PlayStation. It's a generational change that comes every 7 years or so. And the only problem is we're in an economic crisis. Hi, how are you?
My little niece right here. How you doing, girl? You all
right? Ask her, do she play video games?
You got some video games? You don't have any video games?
I'm going home.
You're going home. We're leaving in a little bit. That little live TV, right? A little live streaming, right?
Hey, man, I love it, man. Bring them in. Hey, let's start them early.
That's it.
So basically, they're saying that many of the game executives requested to be a nominee. I don't know how to say the word. A nominee, ANONYMITY. But basically, they wanted to stay anonymous because of the economy. They said a price hike has been plotted and dissected by executives for years. And they point to inflation as well as ballooning costs to develop a AAA game as justification. And at one point, Sony discussed going even higher before settling on $70.
Yeah, that's getting to the point where. So I'm gonna be moving because I've been told that it's time. You saw my niece coming up.
Yeah,
roll up on you, boy. So I just oh damn, it's darker than you. Look, it's just like the Netflix thing, right? I'm paying $18.99 now. Games costing 70, $80 per disc per download. A lot of families can't and don't want to afford that.
Right.
Right? That's getting to be beyond the uh, point of when you got to pay for food, when you got to pay for necessities at home. A lot of folks really are not going to be buying Madden. They're not going to be buying NBA, whatever the case may be. So there's going to get to be a point where a lot of families are going to say, I just can't do that. So who is it? Nintendo and Microsoft and all these folks are going to have to say, I need to come up with some concessions, or I need to come up with some means of being able to let you rent these games again. So something like a Steam, something like some of those services that let you acquire these systems and these games for a much lower cost and point of entry. So I don't think it's going to be advantageous for them to continue to raise the prices on that, to be honest with you. But
I think that they're going to get away with it for a little while. But if this pandemic and this economic crisis, I think we lost James. He's in California, so we would like to definitely say thank you for the little bit of insight that he has given us to this point. If he comes back, I will do my best to bring him back on. But right now, we're talking video games, and the prices are going up. And will you pay for that? I think people will be willing to pay for it for a moment. And I think the game companies are saying that we're giving you a AAA game. And if you're getting a AAA game, you should be able to afford it. And I think that it's like, pay me for the value. And I think gamers are saying, hey, I'm willing to pay for a certain amount, but I don't know how much that cap is. And I think $60 is already a lot. But I think it's one of those things where if you're about to take it to 70, this game you better not have any flaws. And right now, some of the problems that we have been experiencing with NBA 2K, with the lazy design of you copying. It's like, if you're going to give me a AAA game, don't cheat me. It's bad enough that you're already doing in-app purchases where you're saying, hey, if you want the game is $60, but you got to pay another $50 to be able to mod your player to make him the best. And some people will pay to play to be able to get their player to that 99 overall, as opposed to that 60. I'm guilty of it. I've done it. I'm pretty sure others have. So the question is, would you be willing, to pay? As Tammy says, I'm not. I don't support that type of habit. But, everybody, the way I look at it is everybody has their own habits. And the question is, do you smoke? Do you drink? Do you like to drink Starbucks coffee? Do you like to buy shoes? Do you like to buy expensive gadgets? Do you like to buy jewelry? This is just the habit that gamers have. And that's just what it is. And it's one of those situations where, what do you do, for someone who doesn't understand a video game? You got to think, at least that person is in the house. They don't have to worry about any violence or police brutality, or they don't have to worry about, being distracted or doing whatever those negative things are out in public. You're at home. And the only thing that you're using is your electricity. That's it. And your internet. So if you smoke, how much do you pay for cigarettes? If you drink, how much do you buy in alcohol? And when you add that up on a weekly, monthly, and yearly basis, this game is only $60. And they're saying now it's going to be $70. That $70 outweighs. So let's just say a pack of cigarettes costs $8, $8. You buy 3 packs a week. 8 times 3 is 24. $96, $98 by the end of the month. That's just for 1 month. This is only one game that you're just buying, period. Now, I'm not saying you got to buy a game every month. I'm not saying that, but you're at home. You can put that money that you're smoking or you're drinking into something else and put it towards whatever you want to do. That's your call. So with that being said, I just wanted to let you guys know, video game prices are going to go up. Not sure how the gaming community is going to look into it or how they're going to feel about it. Will they pay? I think they will pay in the beginning because of the initial shock of the new releases of these games that release tomorrow. And I think that's kind of what will happen. If you have any questions, feel free to ask questions and I will put you up on the screen and we'll go from there. And I think James said he'll just be audio only. James, can you hear me? I don't know if you can.
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Okay, so he said he'll be audio only. All right, that's fine. All right, so with that being said, we talk PlayStation. We talk games. So now tomorrow. Well, yesterday Xbox released, and there really wasn't too much buzz about it. But today, in a few hours, PS5 releases. And, now that we're talking about $70 games, well, Sony is doing us a favor. Do you have a PlayStation in your house, James?
Don't have that. We have an Xbox, and if you want that, I'll give it to you because no one's using it. It's turned into,
it's just a brick. Is that what it is? Is that what you're saying? Okay, I don't know. Maybe we lost him. I'm not sure. James, can you hear me? All right, I think we lost him. Hold on. I'll take him off. I'll see if I can bring him back in. Well, if you buy the PlayStation 5, God is good. He's so good that PlayStation was nice enough to say, you don't have to buy a game on day one. They're going to give you 20 PS4 classics on the PS5. And they're going to basically this website here, or it's this PC Mag, they're going to rank all 20 of them. But you get 20 games for free on launch. So, but the catch is you got to have a PS4 account. So if you got a PS4 account, you automatically get 20 games automatically downloaded, and they're pretty much good games. Let's see what they got here. Detroit Becomes Human, Days Gone, Mortal Kombat, Infamous Second Son, Batman, Battlefield, Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies Chronicles, The Last Guardian, Ratchet and Clank, Until Dawn, Final Fantasy, that's Final Fantasy 15 Royal Edition, Fallout 4, Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, Resident Evil, Crash Bandicoot, The Last of Us Remastered, God of War, Monster Hunter World, Persona 5, and Bloodborne. These are all quality games that you can get for free. Now, from my understanding, the PlayStation 5, it does come with an 800 gig hard drive built in. But by the time you get through with all of the applications and the settings, you're only going to technically get about 650 gigs, if I'm correct, maybe about 600, right at 600 gigs of data. So if you bought the digital version, your disk space is going to fill up real fast, and you're going to have to decide what you're going to do with those games. You can delete them and reinstall them at a later time and date. But if you got the disc version, shall we say, then you don't have to worry about you don't have to worry about whether or not you have take up a lot of space that fast as opposed to the digital edition. So, I mean, hey, what do you think? Now, here's the only bad thing about the classics. They said that the classics, if I'm correct, they will not play on PS5 quality graphics. They aren't remasters. They'll only play as well as they would on the PS4 Pro. PlayStation 5 might be powerful, but games need to be programmed to take advantage of that power. And these PS4 games do not do that. That doesn't make them any less worthwhile, though. And if you got a PS4, a PS Plus the PS Plus, at least you don't have to worry about spending money on day one with the game, and I think you get a free game that goes with it, that you automatically get to download. And I think that this is available all the way up for 3 months, they said. So January, I think the start of February, right around that time is when they're going to waive this deal. So right now you got some time. You got some time. So she said, classics don't appeal to the young folks. Hey, there's some actual good games that you'll believe, that the Call of Duty, that Bloodborne, that Mortal Kombat. People will go back and download that. I do believe that. It is what it is. So I don't know if I got James, but I'm gonna remove him off, and we'll see what's going on. All right. So moving on to the next topic. What do we have here? The next topic. Your older phones will be cut off from a chunk of the web in 2021. So if you got an Android phone, it's time to upgrade. I'm not trying to be funny, but if you got one of those old phones from 2008, 2009, if you got a Metro or a Boost, Alcatel, it's time to upgrade. I'm not trying to be funny, but it's time to upgrade. And basically, this is what has happened. One of the world's top certificate authorities warns that phones running versions of Android prior to 7.11, which is Nougat, will be cut off from large portions of the secure web starting in 2021. The Mozilla partnered nonprofit Let's Encrypt, that's the name of the company, Let's Encrypt, said that its partnership with fellow certificate authority IdenTrust will expire September 1st, 2021. And since it has no plans to renew its cross-signing agreement, Let's Encrypt plans to stop the default cross-signing for IdenTrust root certificate. So this is a lot of technical stuff right here, but basically, make a long story short, the technology that IdenTrust and Let's Encrypt have, because the technology, the certificates are not going to be renewed, they're saying that they're no longer going to support it, and there's nothing that you can do. So basically, it's time to let it go and save up now. Maybe you get a phone for Christmas. Maybe you get a phone, for your birthday or something like that. But it's time to go ahead and upgrade past 7.11, past that one. It's unfortunate, but the only workaround for these users would be to install Firefox, and that's only temporarily. And a lot of people are not familiar with Firefox. Firefox is another, if you know Internet Explorer, if you're familiar with Chrome, that's kind of what Firefox is. But that's only going to work temporarily. So 34% of Android devices are running a version older than 7.1 based on data from Google's Android development suite. And that translates to millions of users potentially being cut off from large portions of the secure web beginning in 2021. So you might go to a website and they say, well, you don't have this certificate. We can't log you in. So all you're going to really be able to do is just use your phone to make phone calls and text messages. You won't be able to get on the internet. You won't be able to check your email. You won't be able to do a lot of things. So yeah, that's going to be rough. What do you think about that? Any questions? Any comments? Any thoughts? Okay. So that's hard. That's real rough. James and I have been talking, and I'm trying to see if I can get this to come up over here on my screen, shall we say. We have been talking about streaming services. And the top video streaming services we were talking about the other day were Netflix. We were talking about Disney, Hulu, and how much he was paying for it. Well, this article just came out yesterday, and they said these are the top video streaming services that are worth your money. And the question is, do you have them? If you don't have them, would you get them? And if you have them, how much are you willing to pay, shall we say? So that's a question. James, are you there? No, he's not there. All right, cool. So how much would you be willing to pay? So they said that the streaming services that have increased dramatically over the past couple of years, everyone decides what they want that they want a piece of the pie. Even Comcast is getting into it. NBC has gotten into it with Peacock. Is he here? James, are you here?
You kicked me off the stream. I was trying to talk. That's just disrespectful.
Oh, I'm sorry, brother. I didn't hear you when I called you out. So is there something
you don't care about me?
I love you. So what did you want to talk about? You want to talk about this video streaming, or you want to talk about the phones?
I don't even remember what I want to talk about anymore.
Okay.
But we won't go back. Since we're talking about this topic now, we'll stay on this.
Okay. So the top video streaming service that'll worth your money. So I've been getting on you because you got all these streaming services.
Mine is one.
Oh, you got rid of one.
I dropped Disney Plus yesterday. because it's no longer free. Verizon said they were going to stop giving it to me for I had my 1 year. So $6.99, I decided not to pay for Disney Plus.
Okay.
So
I got you. Well, I think they made the list, but of course everyone thinks that the top streaming service out right now is Netflix.
Yep.
And then they said the second one is Amazon Prime Video.
I agree with that.
And let's see, the third one is HBO Max.
I got some shows that I'm gonna be watching. Thanks to you.
Okay. Hulu.
I have not watched Hulu because I don't like their plans. The fact that you can't watch Hulu on multiple devices at the same time, right? If you start a stream on one device, it kicks you off of another. So if you got multiple people in the family using Hulu, you can't multi-stream.
Okay. YouTube TV.
No, I didn't get into that.
You're not into that one? Well, we just talked about Hulu.
That's $60. That's $65. I looked at it the other day. It's $60.
ESPN Plus.
That's a want instead of a need. Would love to have it, but right now we have too many sports.
Right. CBS All Access.
No. And I'm, to be honest with you, I'm not a big TV person. So I will watch news. I will watch a couple of things, but in terms of all of the real value out of cable channels, cable networks, I'm not the right one to talk about. To be honest with you.
Okay. NBC Peacock.
I have that just because it's free right now through Comcast and Xfinity, and there's a couple of decent shows that we have watched, but again, nothing that if Xfinity wasn't given to me at zero cost, I wouldn't keep it.
Gotcha. And the Criterion Channel.
I've never heard of that one.
Okay. And lastly, I believe we got two more. VRW. Have you heard of VRW? Okay. No. And Shudder.
I'm out of the loop, brother. I'm striking out.
Okay, so VRW, they say have they have unlimited simultaneous streams. It contains, now this is VRW. It has tons of anime content, includes all Crunchyroll content, and then has unlimited streams per household. The cons are the content leaves the platform without warning when licensing deals are up. So I think we lost James again, but he'll come back.
No.
Okay.
I just went on mute.
Okay, I got you. All right. So if you like anime, this might be a streaming platform that you might want to look into. Let me see. I don't know if there's a price point for it. Oh, for $10 a month, you'll not only get access to all of Crunchyroll's offerings, but also old cartoons from Boomerang, Indie Animation, Cartoon Hangover, and Mondo, Weird Cult films, and even more anime courtesy of High Dive. Yeah, something to think about. VRW, but I don't think you need to be personally paying for more streams.
I'm agreeing with you there, brother. I'm agreeing with you there.
All right, for the ones that's not familiar with Shutter, the only bad thing about them is you can only do one stream at a time, so you can't have more than one. Prices start out at $6 per month. Tons of horror content in addition to original content. It's affordable, but like they said, the only bad thing is you can only stream on one person per household or per account holder. And if you're familiar with the AMC network streaming services dedicated to everything spooky, you'll find plenty of horror classics like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But Shudder has gotten into the original content game with unique films like Host, which takes place entirely over a Zoom call. So something to think about. Those are two platforms that we have not heard of. The Criterion channel starts out at $11 per month. You can have up to 11. You can have up to 3 streams per month. 3 people streaming at the same time. Tons of classic movies, curated content like double features, and it's only available in the U.S. and Canada. Now, I think they have an approved library for about $100 a year or $11 a month. And then I think it's a service that's built for movie lovers. Let's see, Phantom Lady and Variety. I'm not familiar with neither one of those movies. So I'm not really a movie buff, so I couldn't really tell you. You're back. Okay, cool.
Oh yeah, we back.
Okay, so but yeah, the Criterion channel. So I don't think that unless you're really into movies, and I'm pretty sure that those are classic movies, shall we say? I think that's where you're gonna probably have that problem. So, what do you think? And those are the 3 that I just named. I mean, we can jump back up to the more popular ones in a moment, but what do you think about that? With these 3 channels that you've never heard of before?
I'm not a horror movie type of guy. I don't like stuff that'll mess up my sleep, so I won't be watching any of that stuff. So I would never subscribe to that one. But look, this also kind of makes sense for all of these networks to provide easier access to their content, right? Provide some type of streaming capability. So CBS, NBC, Peacock, whomever, it's just the natural progression to we've got these phone devices, pretty powerful 4G or 5G or whatever. A lot of us have unlimited data. So uh, even with some cable providers, right? Xfinity allows you to actually download your content to your device. So this is just kind of, I think, the right next step for these providers to give to their consumers the ability to have all access, immediate access, anytime, anywhere. So, I mean, it used to just be like Sling TV back in the day, but now you've got, you know, the Roku's, the YouTube, CBS's, the Peacocks, whomever providing something. It's too bad. What was it? Quibi couldn't couldn't be successful. They shut down after a whole 3 months of service. But I think each of the services that you mentioned has their own fan base. So again, like those horror movies, which I will never watch, but there are folks who absolutely love those types of films. They'll subscribe to that as long as, again, those prices don't get astronomical and more than the actual value of the service. So that's that fine line that the executives at those companies have to walk. You know, what's the right price point to maintain my subscription base? Tall boy, you there? Am I just talking to myself now? So
Oh,
now he done fell
no,
off.
I'm here. I'm here. I
Oh,
was
what you
I,
go? What?
I was allowing you to do what you do, and let you get some camera time. That's it.
Well, okay. Let your boy get some camera time. Okay, I appreciate it. So, what? I don't. I don't have my. I got. This is my drink for the night. This is my
Is
chocolate
that
milk.
who's that brand right there? Because I've never seen
I
that
don't.
before.
Yeah,
You-
this. Again, I'm down here in Southern California, Irvine. This is probably that bougie stuff here. This is that high end, highfalutin chocolate milk right here.
well, milk does a body good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It does a body good. So I just found this quick article here talking about Quibi. Is that what it is?
Quibi, yeah, the one I was just, service I was just mentioning that shuttered their doors after all of 3 months.
Right. They basically had an article that just dropped today and said they were talking about the final days of Quibi, the 2 billion streaming platform that didn't even last 6 months. And
Yeah.
basically, for many employees, Quibi's demise came as a shock. Sure, the company had been struggling to attract and retain customers since it had launched in April. The streaming app was designed to be watched on phones with episodes that were 10 minutes or less. It was built for a world where people had time to binge watch, such as The Sopranos and Quibi's Barkitecture or something like that, a show about architecture for dogs, or dismantled a cooking competition where chefs were blasted in the face with full meals and asked to recreate them from scratch with no match for an endless quarantine. But they basically said they thought that even though they were tanking, they thought that they were confident life would return to normal and people would be back to standing in a line at the dry cleaners where they could watch Quibi, but nothing went back to normal. And they was like, it just shut down. So
Yeah. I was watching it for a while. I know some of the folks that were part of the initial startup of that, like Meg Whitman. I used to work for her when she was CEO at Hewlett Packard, and some of the early investors put a lot of money into Quibi. The technology was right. It was built for the mobile platform. Again, it was all either way that you held the phone. It was in landscape mode, right? It was short, 5-10 minute series and shows. It just some of the shows, kind of like the ones you just mentioned, weren't worth watching. They just weren't the shows, right? They had a couple of things that were decent, but a lot of the content wasn't really compelling. Anything that you couldn't get someplace else. And honestly, after that initial 3 month period that they gave it to you for free, a lot of us just said, "I'm not paying the however much it was, $9.99 or whatever it was they were asking to maintain the service." So that's where they fell off the cliff.
So I'm reading here. It says they were blindsided by the news that the company was going under. So this, and they were having breaking news tweets from the Wall Street Journal that started to appear on Twitter, and the coworkers were asking, "Have you heard anything?" And the answer is no. And even the news about their future was coming from journalists on Twitter, and
You about
so.
to lose your job.
Well, we know somebody else is about to lose their job too. So, so finally, the team got a message from the show's executive leadership. A meeting was scheduled for the following day. The waiting period was tense, and it made it more difficult by the fact that they couldn't be in the same room with one another. People didn't know if they were going to have a job, whether the show would continue at another studio, or if it was time to start looking elsewhere for work. And they were just like, "So is this our last day of production?" And they said that's how it all happened. So they said rumors started. I mean, that's just bad business all the way. I mean, you out there,
that's tough. That's tough.
yeah, that's you out here giving your blood, sweat, and tears to a company, and this is how they do you.
Man, yeah.
Whew.
It's cutthroat, man. It's cutthroat.
Yeah, it's cutthroat. Yeah, it is. Any Apple news that you want to talk about? If I can look it up real quick, because you know me, I was like, I'm not doing nothing Apple if you ain't gonna be here. But now that you here,
No,
look, look,
nothing.
he sat up, got
Yeah,
right, picked his hat, got the lick of
look,
the
look,
lick
let
his
me get
lip,
the
and
lights
he
right.
ready.
Yeah,
See
let me get
now look, he ain't been right all show, but at the end he
no.
gonna be like, let me get my light right, let me get
Yeah,
my grades to show, so we
hold
can talk this
on.
Apple.
There we go. Let me get the
Look,
forehead in there.
I'm so mad at this brother right here.
Look, so I'd be remiss if I didn't mention about the um, Apple branded and the Apple created processor that they came out with, right? So that they've actually developed their M1 chip that's going into their Pro devices, the 13-inch MacBook Pro, the MacBook Air, and the Mac Mini is coming out. Was announced yesterday and is actually for pre-order now and should be available in stores next week. What's really relevant about this is that this M1 chip is already faster than the i7 from Intel in terms of capability. And from a functionality perspective, the fact that users can actually run iPhone apps on their Apple CPU device. So that's pretty cool, right? You can actually have devices, you can actually have applications on your iPhone that if you've got one of the Carbon um, CPU devices, you can actually run them on your MacBook Air or your MacBook Pro or your Mac Mini. So I think that's pretty telling in terms of the integration. That's what Apple does, right? If you get sucked into one piece of the ecosystem, their idea is to make sure that you don't leave. So if you got a phone, if you got some AirPods, if you now have a laptop, they don't want you at all looking at anybody else. So if you can use any one of those devices at any given time and have advantage and get and access to all of your compute resources, that is just better for them in terms of, again, bringing you further into the ecosystem. So
So how much is
what's
this
not
going to cost? So it's the M1 chip, so it's going to be put in your MacBooks, right?
Yeah, yeah. So pricing is actually on par with what they typically were. Pricing has not gone up. I believe, and don't quote me on, you may have the article there, but the Mac Mini I think starts at $699, and that's the desktop, right? That's just the headless desktop. So the Mac Mini is just the desktop unit where you bring your own monitor, you bring your own keyboard, you bring your own mouse, and then the 13-inch Pro laptop, the MacBook Pro, um, again, I believe is around $12.99, $13.99, and the MacBook Air was less than that. So pricing from a perspective of anything what they've had in the past hasn't changed. Uh, just I think some great advantages in terms of functionality. There's nothing bad about this. I think even Intel is I think okay with this because Apple was only about 30% from a CPU procurement perspective of Intel's business.
I don't know nothing that you just said, but all I heard was a fast chip that's getting ready to go into y'all's
Yeah,
PCs and it's going to be at the same price. That's all I
yeah.
got.
So
Is that basically it?
that's basically it. And I need to preface this. I'm on my iPhone right now, and I just got the low battery warning, so I got about 5 minutes before I get kicked off. But
No.
what's relevant to you is the live streaming friends Facebook group that we both belong to. A lot of folks were looking at the announcement saying, should I be going by the Mac Mini now that it's coming out with this new M1 chip? The challenge is that there's only two Thunderbolt ports, and folks like to have multiple monitors. Folks like to have two or three monitors connected to their device, so they can have one um, monitor on them, and another monitor, two monitors running the actual show environment for production and things like that. And that can be done, but you have to buy some external accessories. So you got to keep that in mind. it's good for what it's for, and that really is for home compute, managing your music library, managing your photo library. But when you start getting into more professional types of applications, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Maybe not this device. Maybe something more like a full-on desktop
Yeah,
based machine.
and real brief because I know your battery's about to die. But I mean, live streaming was designed for PCs. It was not designed
Yeah,
for Mac.
I
And
agree
I
with that. Yeah.
think that, and now that Mac is jumping into the live streaming game, no different from us as PC users, we said we want to push the limits. Now you guys are trying to push the limits, and
Yep.
now this is where the challenges are going to come from. Where Mac is now going to have to say, do we give the users what they want, or do we say this is just who we are and we're not changing, and that's just
Yep.
what it is. And it's no disrespect to Mac, it's no disrespect to PC. It's just that's just what it is. So if you want
Yep.
this M1 chip, you're going to get a faster processor. No different from the PS5. You're going to get a faster load time. That's it. Don't try to push the limits and try and say, well, I want to connect 8 people. PlayStation has always been designed for a one-player game. Very few 2-player games or multiplayer games do they have. Very few. Call of Duty and your sports games. Very few. Xbox, they give you that. But Sony is what Sony is. No different from Mac is who they are. And then you either respect it or you don't. So with that being said, I'm running out of topics. So I'm good.
You ran out of topics. I'm running out of battery.
Yeah.
I need to go eat. I need to go drink my chocolate milk.
Oh man, I was gonna ask you, did you put some cognac in there? But I don't know if you can mix cognac and something. Can you what do you put that's an adult beverage inside of that?
You can't. No, tomorrow I'll go with my single malt scotch though. But tonight, no, I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go straight with the chocolate milk and have some cookies.
Okay, Santa Claus. Santa Claus is getting ready for Micro Center tomorrow. That's what he's doing. So,
yes, sir.
With that being said, my name is Corey Sanders. They call me Tall Boy. That's James Hicks. His name is Scoop, and
Yes,
we
sir.
are the Lab. And thank you guys so much for bearing with us with our remote broadcast live in Southern California. We'll be back next week to talk PS5, and I think that might be our last show. Is that correct?
I thought this was the end of the season 2.
Oh, see. Sometimes you just got to go with the flow. See, he messing up.
Here.
Yeah, it's the Lab, y'all. We'll see y'all next week.
We out.
Yo, you there?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I got 10% left. But what's up with you, brother?
Where your charge at? Where your charge at?
I don't know. Look, we were out eating, and then we were driving back, and now I'm back in the hotel. My daughter got me some chocolate milk. I'm gonna sit here and watch the news, see what's going on with 45, and then get ready for tomorrow.
Look, don't. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to stunt. Oh.
What you got, so? It's your time.
I didn't want to stunt. Eric threw me for a loop when he called me 20 minutes before the show and said, "Tall boy, something happened at my job," and I'm like, "Dude, not now." I'm like, not now. So I'm over here calling everybody I know, and it's like, so I had this over here, and I'm like, I want to put it up on the screen. I want to say I got it charged, so I'm ready for it to open. But it was like I'm over here trying to do damage control for some stuff that he didn't did. So it's like, man, this some ghetto ass shit. Got me on a ghetto show. Your boy, man, your boy. Tell my man, I'm sorry, tall boy. I'll try to jump in later. Okay. Oh, we still alive. We still alive. Oh, this is the after show.
We talking madness.
Oh man, we live. Hey, we out. Bye.